This is Mountain Connections, and today I'm very excited to be here with President of Deerfield Media, Steve Mumblow, and Steve Nugent. I am surrounded by Steves. What more could you want? We are making a beautiful summery fresh fruit tart. Actually, we're not going to show you the finished product yet. We are teasing it, but it is divine. Just a spoiler alert, you're going to love it. So Steve, tell me about this fresh fruit tart.
Well, it's a creation from a good friend of ours on Nantucket Island, Christine. She came over to our house one day and brought this wonderful dessert, and we were like so amazed. I said, did you get this from some French recipe? And she says, no, I got it from Pillsbury. Oh. And it says, it's so easy. And we said, well, tell me how it's done. And she did. And I want to thank Christine for doing so. And so I'm just going to go through the steps. It is so easy. And given that it's summer, fresh fruit, peaches are in season now, the berries are still here, this is the time to take advantage of it. And there's a little secret in the middle that Christine puts in. So that's what we're going to do.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the secret, because I feel like when you come on and cook, it's basic things, but you amp it up. Like the multi-layered cake, the savory spaghetti on a dime, and now this fruit tart with a special secret ingredient. Are you going to share this secret ingredient?
I certainly will.
Okay, good. Looking forward to it. And you spend summers on Nantucket.
Yes, I do.
Do you use fresh fruit from there?
I use it from wherever I could find it.
Perfect. Well, let's get right to it.
Okay, well, let's Steve here. This is a perfect appetizer for the starting of the football season here in Park City. And Steve is hosting a show at 6:30 this coming?
6:30. Nick O'Kane and I will be down at Dozier Field doing a little pregame show to get the season kicked off. We got Park City and Wasatch, big rivalry game, so it should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So the reason why we're doing this dessert this day is so that you can do it tomorrow about 6 o'clock, because it only is going to take you about half an hour to get it done. It's really going to be good.
And you can eat it before the game?
Or yes, you can. Well, you can make two, because they come two in a box, so you got for dessert and pregame. But before I get to cooking it, if you watched our last Keep It Simple show segment, we couldn't get the cans open.
That was fun. Live TV, you never know what's going to happen.
So I want to thank the 42 viewers of Park City Television who sent in can openers. We're very appreciative of them, and the staff will be equally appreciative at Christmas time.
Yes.
Very
true.
So I'm going to start making the tart. It starts basically with refrigerated pie dough out of the supermarket.
So easy.
Easy
start. I love it.
And I use pans, a smaller pan or a larger pan. And I'll tell you why in a moment.
All right.
It's important to take your dough out from the refrigerator about an hour ahead of time, because if it's cold, it will break on you. But as it gets warm, it's easier to work with.
I've done that before. I'm
yes.
impatient. I want my pie now.
Now, why the pan size difference is you have to jump ahead and say, well, what am I going to put on top of my fruit tart? If I'm going to put peaches or other things that will lay flat, you want your tart or your galette, if you were from the north of France, to be a little flatter. If you're going to put berries in, because they have a habit of rolling all around, you want a little crust on the side. So I like berries better than peaches. So I'm going to go with the smaller pan. So all I do is take the dough out of the package, which has been brought to room temperature, and roll it out into the pan.
So you need to think ahead of what fruit you want. It's very varied. You can do what you want. You can mix and match it.
You can get creative with it.
Good, good.
That's
but you have
right.
to know ahead what's going to be in the middle, what's going to be on the top.
Here's the only tricky part in the whole thing. As the pie crust bakes and the butter and the Crisco, whatever they have in it, starts to melt, your pie crust is going to fall. So if you want that ridge, you're going to have to help it a little bit. And what I do is I take a tube of aluminum foil, just take it and roll it up into a tube, and cut it into very small segments. You're about 2 inches each.
And feeling complicated, but you're making it easy.
I'm making it easy. And what this is doing in your pie pan is you're putting this here as a support system for your pie crust. I'm just putting 4 in. Now you're going to fold your pie crust over gently Don't press against the aluminum foil because when it comes time to remove the aluminum foil, it may tear your crust. Just gently go over the aluminum foil, pinch your ends.
It's a great tip. I would have never ever thought about that.
And fold it in so it's nice and little folding it under here. And you want to brown the crust too to make it look great when it comes out. So you take a little bit of milk, and I just brush it on the side.
Oh, looks good. Looks delicious.
And for a little sweet tooth, granular sugar.
Kind of browns it up a little bit.
It does. And just sprinkle it on the upper part of the crust, not the bottom part. Now, having done that, you're going to want to take a fork because as this bakes, the center will rise. You don't want that to happen.
No.
So you just make some holes in the bottom of your dough. That's all you have to do.
That's it. We're definitely troubleshooting a lot of potential issues
Yeah.
here. So
You put it into a preheated oven at 450 degrees, and in this type of pan, it's going to take about 13 minutes to cook. So
that's it.
that was 2 minutes, 13, 15 minutes, and you're going to have your galat done. So we're going to go to a commercial break now, and we're going to cook this up.
All right, more fruit tart, and you're going to get to see the beautiful finished product, and we are really hoping we get to eat and sample the finished product right after this quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mountain Connections. I'm here with our sports reporter, Steve Nugent, and President of Deerfield Media, Steve Mumblow. We are baking a beautiful, summery, fresh fruit tart, and we're partially through the baking process.
Yes. So previously you saw just using pie dough out of the supermarket. Pillsbury brand is wonderful. Putting it into the pan, putting a little aluminum foil on the inside, small pieces, in order to keep the crust up, because we're going to be loading our pie with berries as opposed to peaches or other things.
So let's show how it
And
looks.
so it has come out of the oven, and this is what my pie crust looks like. It's got nice ridges, and I'll move it onto the plate here. So this is a Calphalon pan. If you don't have a Calphalon pan, like you have a stainless steel pan, you might want to put a little flour on the bottom before you roll out your dough to keep it from sticking. Otherwise, as you see in this pan, it rolls off very easy. So now we've got our dough done. It was very simple.
Yes.
Now, here's what makes this cool, especially in the summertime. And thank you, Christine, for finding it for me.
You're welcome.
Lemon curd. You can find it in the supermarket. It comes in a variety. English brands like Dickinson and Wilkinson are really great. We found this one locally. A jar of lemon curd is good for about 4 tarts. So you don't really have to get a lot.
A long way.
You just spoon it off and fill in the center
I'll hold it for you.
of your tart. Get to the edge. It's the bottom layer. And you don't want to do this until the crust is thoroughly cooled. Do not do it while the crust is still hot.
It'll just melt in, be nice and gooey. But
And because the crust is so easy, you spend all your time really on just decorating. And we're gonna have 2 of these because there's 2 in the box. So now that we've had them there, it's just time to decorate.
Ooh.
And we can use a variety of fruits. I like the blackberries because Joanne in Hadley, Massachusetts told me that if you get blackberries that are growing next to an asparagus field, they are especially sweet. I don't know if I believe that, but they are really good.
Sounds like a
So
great
we are going to
secret.
decorate the perimeter of our tart or galat with blackberries.
So presentation matters at this point.
Yeah, this is the fun
And-
part. This is where you get creative with it.
That's true.
And we have wonderful raspberries. These do not have to come from Hadley.
We can get them from anywhere.
You can get them from anywhere. And we'll just put them in. And it's nothing more than decorating what you're doing. Whatever the family likes, or what do you think, school colors, or anything of that
nature.
nature.
A lot of fun with that. What are
Then
your favorite fruits?
I've got
Steve?
some berries
I
here.
think blackberries are up there. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to
I
try
agree.
this.
Strawberries there.
Are a big win.
And of course, this time of the year, you always got to mound things with a lot of blueberries.
It is essential.
It is looking good.
So summery,
And
perfect
it,
for
it is summery.
a patriotic holiday. Looks beautiful.
Save your best strawberries for the top. And so there is your tart. You take a little bit of granular sugar. Do not put the sugar on until you're ready to serve it, because the sugar will start interacting with the fruit and it'll start to juice on you, and the juice will make the crust soft. So just before you're ready to serve, 15 minutes, half hour, put some sugar on it. And it just gives it a good frosty look. And of course, sometimes when you bake the dough, you don't want to over bake it until it starts to burn. So cinnamon is there to make your crust look like it's browned.
Oh, such great tips here today.
It's how you cheat. But it looks really good.
Oh, my mouth is watering.
And
looks delicious.
and there you have it. There's your fruit tart
Yum.
to take to the game. And we cheated a little bit because this is my first time doing it, and I did it in the hotel room last night.
Oh, you did
But
a great job.
I'll give you an
impressed.
example of other
Oh,
tarts.
look at that. Beautiful.
When you want to put it flatter to put your peaches on, this is how you put your peaches
so
will look.
these were made in your hotel room.
Yes, they were. That's
I
how
think
simple it is.
Christine will be very impressed.
Yeah.
You did her recipe justice. This is beautiful. And I want to mention the game. I'm really glad that Steve Nugent is here with us tomorrow. Big pregame show. My son's actually on the football team. The team is so excited for this game.
Yeah, I know the team's excited, and I think we are too. And like we said earlier, this is going to be a great snack to bring to the pregame. Our show starts at 6:30. We're going to be talking to some of the coaches, some of the players, and Caitlin's going to be up in the stands getting fan interactions. It's going to be a really fun time.
And for all those people in Heber Valley at Wasatch High, the Wasps there, welcome to Park City this Friday, and we wish you well as our team here in Park City.
It's a big rivalry, but we just hope for a great game, clean game, just a really fun rivalry here with these two schools being so close together. It'll be a great night.
Yeah, after talking to some of the guys on the teams, I know both of these teams are really excited for this game. It should be a really fun way to kick off the season.
Yeah, it's a really great way to kick off the season. I know the fans will be excited and ready to go, and just a lot of great vibing here in Park
So start
City.
off your tailgating with a fruit tart, end up your tailgating with a fruit tart. And it's so easy to put together. Total time is 45 minutes. Pre-game show starts at 6:30, so at 5:30, if you did this and showed up at the game, it'll be just great. The lemon is a good addition to the situation, and you could also put wild blueberry jam around the edges too for extra decoration.
Oh,
It's pretty good. Experiment with what you're doing, because it's
Make it
simple,
fun.
it's fun, and it's just to enjoy the outdoors.
Absolutely. All right, so what are you making next for us? We've got to tease your next
Oh,
baking
I don't know.
segment. We've done cake, spaghetti, and now beautiful fruit tarts. I think, Steve, you should dig in.
Should I?
What do you think?
It
Yeah.
looks very good. We'll have
An
to take
apple
a bite.
pie. You mentioned an apple pie when you made the cake.
Someday there'll be apple pie. That's more of a fall situation.
So maybe next time. Well, thank you so much, Steve, for being here, cooking for us, and Steve for being here. Also, sports reporter talking about the big game. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 7 a.m. for Street Views with Conrad Iacobellis, 8 a.m. for Mountain Connections. It'll be a fun Friday. Big game coming up this weekend. Lots of things happening in Park City. We will see you next time.